Good afternoon, YouTube, Facebook. What's happening? This is Monday morning. I am Kendrick, the sports guy, your host, TFG Sports Media, and we got some breaking news that just broke just a few minutes ago. Give me just a second. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Make sure you like this live stream, share it to all your social media platforms and all that, as well as subscribe to the channel as you see scrolling down below. You can subscribe to TFG Sports Media right here on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to TFG Sports Media. I'm sorry. You are watching TFG Sports Media. Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SPORTZHUSTLE. And I'm trying to share this, so give me just a second. I'm sharing this to my Facebook page. Okay. So yeah, again, if you come in, let me know you're watching, where you're watching from. Again, make sure you like, share this to all your social media platforms. Again, we got some breaking news that just came down about 30 minutes ago. You all know the Los Angeles Lakers was looking for, they had a head coach in mind. As a matter of fact, they flew him out on Thursday. And who was that coach? I'm talking about Dan Hurley of the UConn, Connecticut Huskies, the men's head basketball coach. And he said he was going to make a decision today, and he made his decision. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, who was the first to actually break the news, that Hurley has turned down to be the head coaching position for the Los Angeles Lakers, and he turned down a 6-year, $70 million offer. That was a lot of bread. But Dan Hurley has decided to stay at UConn and try to go for a three-peat at the men's college basketball level. Now, Hurley would tell ESPN that the Lakers did make a compelling case with a compelling vision that made it kind of hard to turn down. One of his next goals, from what I was reading, that he eventually does want to take that next step, take it to the next level, and coach at the NBA, in the NBA. But I guess the Lakers just did not give him, wasn't enough to lure him away from Storrs, Connecticut, again, where he has been very successful. He's won 2 back-to-back national championships, the first team to do that since the 08-09 Florida Gators. And he's been there 6 seasons at Connecticut. You know, UConn is a basketball school. They do play Division I college football, but we know UConn for the men's and women's programs. It's a basketball school. So, again, breaking news just coming down. UConn's Dan Hurley has decided to stay at the college in men's college basketball. He's going to stay in Connecticut. I do know Connecticut did offer him an extension and a little bit more money to make him one of the highest paid men's basketball coaches at the college level. But he turned down 6 years, $70 million. Yeah, that's looking at roughly what, 11 million, 12 million a year. I think what he's making at UConn may be roughly around 8 to 9 million. But he likes the college level. He likes the college game, and he likes what he's building there. But on Friday, sources were saying that he was kind of 50-50 on whether he was going to stay in at Connecticut or take this Lakers job. Now Hurley, who's 51, again, won back-to-back national titles. If you don't know, he's the youngest brother of Bobby Hurley, who played at Duke, who played a couple of years in the league and is now a head coach at Arizona State. His record at UConn, that is Hurley's record, is 141-58 in 6 seasons at the school. And he's building a program. He has a top 5 recruiting class that's coming back. They're losing 2 of their star players from this year's national title team, but he's got some. He's going to be loaded. And who's to say that they can't win 3 in a row? I mean, let's be honest. The men's college game is a little bit different. There's a lot more parity now at the men's college basketball level. Just because of a lot of the star players, they only play 1 or 2 years and they're gone. But again, Dan Hurley has decided to not take that next step just yet to become the next head coach with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, what's next for the Lakers? Yeah, now you got spurned. You got your home, your date that you were gonna take to the prom decided to bag out. So now who's going to be second choice? Again, we know they've interviewed Sam Cassell, who's an assistant with the Celtics, I believe. They've interviewed James Borrego, who's an assistant with the New Orleans Pelicans. They've interviewed JJ Redick, who everyone is saying is still was the number one guy. You know, JJ Redick, he does the podcast Mind the Game with Lakers star LeBron James. Is he going to be the front? Is he still the front runner, or is he going to be the guy? They interviewed him, and they interviewed a couple of other candidates as well. So what's next for Jenny Buss and Rob Pelinka? They gave him their best sales pitch to the guy that they wanted, and he said it just wasn't enough. So what's next? The Lakers brass got a lot to think about. Also, you got to think about what are they going to do for as LeBron James. He has until June 30th to decide if he's going to opt into his last year his deal. I think his player option is 51 million, I want to say. So if he decides to opt out of that on July 1st, he becomes an unrestricted free agent, where that means that he could sign with another team. Again, Jenny Buss, Rob Pelinka, they got a lot on their plate. I'm quite sure they wanted to have a head coach in place before the upcoming draft, which is January. I'm trying to skip ahead. June 26th and 27th, which is a couple of weeks from now. Not having a head coach in place, now that kind of are you going to rush this thing? Is LeBron James going to be cool with that? And I'm sure I've read reports where he's not involved in this. They say, but I believe he and Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, they're just as involved with this new head coach search as Jenny Buss and Rob Pelinka is, because he's the star of the franchise. So he's gonna be involved, and he's always involved. LeBron James has always been involved, except when he was in Miami. He wasn't really involved with Miami because Pat Riley wasn't playing that. But everywhere else he's been involved. He and Rich Paul have had their hand in what was going on in the front office. But again, if you're just tuning in, Dan Hurley has turned down a 6-year, $70 million offer to become the Los Angeles Lakers next head coach. And I had looked up something that the Lakers since 2016, I want to say they've had like 6 different head coaches, something to that effect. I could be wrong, but I looked it up. They've had quite a few head coaches since 2016. And I believe it was we know they've had Luke Walton, Frank Vogel, and Darvin Ham. That's 3. And who else? They had Mike Brown and Byron Scott. That's 5. And I think they had one more. So I think they've had 6 different head coaches within since like 2014, something like that. So that's not a lot of stability at that head coaching position for these Lakers. And they got to get this thing right. I think they got this next head coach got to be the guy they get right. I still think JJ Redick is the leading candidate. He knows his X's and O's. If you watch Mind the Game, that podcast with he and LeBron, he definitely knows the X's and O's. But that's only one part of it, though. When you're coaching professional athletes, you also have to have a connection. You got to be able to connect to them, especially superstars. You got to be able to hold their attention and hold them accountable, and where they can respect you. And I think this is something that happened with Darvin Ham. There was words leaking out that the players stopped respecting his game management, his strategies, and all that. They stopped respecting his style, and they lost him. I want to say, according to reports, don't know how true that is, but you do have to have, as well as knowing the X's and O's, you got to have a connection to these players. And JJ Redick, the one thing I can say, he probably could do that because he's just this far removed from playing with these guys himself. I think he's only been out the league 2 years, so he can connect. I think with a lot of these players, and I think that's why sometimes you do see former players. Sometimes they do have a better shot at being a long-term coach, but not as always. I mean, look at Darvin Ham. So this is what happens. Speaking of Darvin Ham, just to give you another tidbit, I did see Adrian Wojnarowski did say this. Also, the former Lakers coach is returning back to his old stomping grounds, my born city, Milwaukee. He's returning back to Milwaukee to be Doc Rivers' top assistant. That's where Darvin Ham actually came from. He was hired from the Bucks 2 years ago by the Lakers. He was on Mike Budenholzer's staff there for 4 years, and he was part of that 2021 NBA championship team. So it's being reported that Darvin Ham is returning back to Milwaukee to be Doc Rivers' top assistant. There was reports that Darvin Ham did turn down an offer to be on Mike Budenholzer's Phoenix Suns staff. Budenholzer is the new head coach in Phoenix as well, because they fired Frank Vogel not too much longer after the Lakers fired Darvin Ham. So back to Dan Hurley. I think this was the right decision. Because I said this on the show, on the TFG Sports Media show. You can catch that on Sundays at 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. I said that if the history of college coaches making that jump to the NBA, most of them haven't been very successful. Like I said, the two that came to my mind, three, was John Calipari, Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino had a couple of years with the Knicks and the Celtics. Then, that didn't go to the Celtics. He had a little bit of success, not much. John Calipari with the Nets didn't have much success there. And then you had Tim Floyd, who was with Iowa State, and the Bulls hired him, and that was the disaster. But we can say Billy Donovan, who's currently the head coach with the Bulls, who was with the Oklahoma City Thunder for some years. He probably has been the most successful college coach to make that jump to the NBA. So I think Dan Hurley probably said, you know what? I'm the big dog on campus. I'm the big dog in the Big East. I got a nice top 5 recruiting class coming in. We have a good shot at going for a three-peat. I got it good at UConn, and that's okay. Sometimes that's okay. That's why Coach K stayed at Duke for so long. And speaking of which, last week it was the 20th year anniversary of the Lakers when they tried to lure Coach K from Duke to become the next head coach of the Lakers. And Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, was all in. He was definitely giving it the full court press on trying to get Coach K to come be the next Lakers head coach. He decided to stay at Duke, and the rest is history. Again, that was the 20th year anniversary of the Lakers trying to get Coach K back then last week. So here we are. So I guess that's that. Lakers got to go back to the drawing board, see what's out there, and we'll see if they'll have a new head coach in place by the draft. Again, that is June 26th, 27th, and they got, I think, the 54th pick in this year's draft. I did see somewhere where they possibly could have the 17th pick too, but they definitely have a second-round pick. And there's been speculation that LeBron is wanting them to pick Bronny. LeBron hasn't came out and said that. He's basically backed off his deal about, we a package deal, and he's backed off kind of like he would want to play with his son. He's kind of backed off of that a little bit, but I still think in the back of his mind, he still wants that. So we'll see what happens with the Lakers going forward. So if you're just popping in, breaking news coming out of the NBA. Again, Dan Hurley has decided to stay at UConn after turning down a 6-year, $70 million offer to become the next Los Angeles Lakers head coach. So now they move on to see who's next. Will it be J.J. Redick? I think it's going to be J.J. Redick. I think that's who it's going to be. So we'll just keep it locked here. Keep it locked to the TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle for all your sports news and entertainment and breaking news. So again, I hope you all having a good start to your Monday. Again, keep it locked here for any more updates, any more breaking news. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. That's TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SportzHustle on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. You can also follow my personal Facebook page, Kendrick Roland Henderson, and you can follow me on Instagram at Kendrick1969, as well as on TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51. So again, you all have a good one. Make sure you tune in to TFG tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to it with your host, Brenton Haynes. I'm on that panel, myself, Kendrick the Sports Guy, Devin Devine, and Lee Black, where we talk about all the trendy news, sports, politics, what's trending, what's going to be happening. We're going to be talking a little bit more about this Lakers stuff. And also, we're going to be talking about in the sports segment on TFG tonight, we're going to be talking about the Celtics Mavericks finals, which is now the Celtics up 2-0. So, again, make sure you tune in to that tonight, TFG tonight. Do a search on YouTube and go subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click that notification bell to be alerted when new content and live streams are headed your way. So again, I'm Kendrick, the sports guy. We will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Peace.